Muito bom dia.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'd like to salute the governor of the Sovereign Fund of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the president of the FII Institute, and chair of the board of administration of Aramco Yazid Al Humayyan. Well, I'd like to greet Abdel Al Jubair, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Saudi Arabia, Ambassador Faisal Lam, Ambassador of the Saudi Arabia in Brazil, Richard Atias, CEO of FII Institute. I'd like to greet the mayor of this wonderful city of Rio de Janeiro, my friend Eduardo Paes, and also Gabriel Galípolo, Director for Monetary Policy of the Central Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to come to this meeting. I arrived 6 days ago from Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, and it was a trip of hard work and an important trip. Saudi Arabia is a great partner, a trade partner of Brazil. We have reached almost $7 billion in terms of trade between these countries. We signed there in Riyadh with the Prince, Minister of Defense, an agreement for cooperation in the area of defense. And also there in Saudi Arabia, we had several rounds of trade, and there were 9 investment funds from Brazil who had meeting with the investment funds there in Saudi Arabia. And I even visited a hospital, which is a reference in terms of digital medicine, digital center integrating 150 hospitals all over Saudi Arabia. And we had a conversation that ranged from food, meat, animal protein, and much very important, and also industry services, tourism, culture, and I even remarked the huge Arab presence in Brazil. And even the vice president of the republic is of Arab origin, Alckmin. So it is a pleasure to be here. And I understand we can move forward yet much more in several sectors. Brazil is going through an important moment. We had a drop of inflation. Inflation was brought down. We had a fall in terms of the Brazil risk from 254 to less than 180. We had an important decrease in terms of unemployment, and this way we increased the income of Brazilians. It is the highest income gain since the Plan Real. We had a growth in GDP. Brazil represents practically half of the South American GDP. It is a leader in the region. The same way that Saudi Arabia is a big leader and the biggest Brazilian trade partner in the Middle East. Brazil passed the tax reform, which is a reform which cuts taxes in terms of investments in exports. So the studies show that in 15 years, only the tax reform itself can add 12% to the GDP and can add investments by 14% or more and increase in exports by 17%. So it is a structuring reform, an important one. And I would like also to highlight the commitment of President Lula's administration with the fiscal framework. Brazil is a country where there is fiscal responsibility. We're committed to fiscal health and to controlling inflation. Last year, we were the second country that most received investment in the world. We were only lost to the United States. And I am certain that with Saudi Arabia, we will be able to grow even further. And with this important cultural, social, touristic, interchange, exchange, strengthening identities, and these bonds of partnership. And in the economy, with reciprocal investment and a bigger growth of foreign trade. The FII, the meeting is about the dignity of people. And I remember a sentence in the sense that development is the new name given to peace. Peace, true peace, where there can be employment, income for people, and a dignified life to people. So when we work along, we attract reciprocal investment, we move forward in the development, we generate employment, we generate income, then we are promoting true peace.
Brazil has a commitment with an inclusive development, not leaving people behind. Unfortunately, we have 30 million people with no food. It's an inclusive development that we are improving a lot. Development with sustainability, we have the commitment to to fight against the climate change and the commitment to preserve Amazon. The goal from the government is to have zero illegal deforestation, and the fund, it's very important to move forward to decrease the deforestation, and it was very important, and it's still happening. So our goal is zero deforestation up to recover the forests. We have the biggest tropical forests in the world and commitments with decarbonization. I saw here the last debate about electrification. Brazil, it's a country with a privilege. We are the fifth bigger country in the world regarding the territory, and we have since oil, gas, manganese, nickel, niobel, and lithium, as it was mentioned here. The different technological routes, the government from Lula launched NIB, that is the new Brazilian industry, and this new industry is innovative. So all the commitment regarding innovation, we have 66 billion with TR interest for research, development, and innovation. We have a competitive industry. We just approved the accelerated depreciation to renew our plants, the equipments. LCD, it's being launched also for the development of the industry. And Mover, that is the green mobility that mobilized 130 billion of investment in the automobile industry, focusing on innovation and decarbonization with different technological routes. Green hydrogen, hybrid, ethanol, and so on, with different alternatives. It's an export industry. This is very important. The foreign trade, to export, to import, to empower the foreign trade in a green industry, sustainable, so that we can have an important participation fighting against the climate change. And we are focusing also on the happiness from our population. So our biggest love, it's like the love of the mother is the one, the best one that can exist. And what a mother wishes to have a kid growing with health, education, to have a job, and also to have income in the future. I'm sure that this partnership, Brazil and Saudi Arabia, will bring a lot of results, investments to generate jobs, incomes, and a life with dignity for our population. Good work.